You know, I sometimes wonder what timeline we're in. Um, if you're a fan of this channel or an observer of this channel, you know that uh, I'm a my support is with Ukraine because I hate bullies, and I do live in a Ukrainian neighborhood, and even if I didn't, I still hate bullies. Um, Imagine a small village defending itself from a relentless invader. A wealthy merchant from another town, seeing an opportunity, supplies the villagers with weapons and armor, but not for free. The villagers, desperate to protect their homes, accept the deal without hesitation. The battle rages on, and the merchant continues sending supplies, keeping the villagers in the fight. As time passes, the merchant comes knocking. He reminds the villagers that their debt is growing and that he didn't give them those weapons out of pure goodwill. Now he wants to be repaid, not in gold because the villagers have none left, but in the valuable resources they still have, their mineral-rich hills. The villagers protest, saying they are still fighting for survival and that losing their resources could leave them too weak to stand on their own even if they win. The merchant shrugs and tells them business is business. You needed my weapons and I needed something in return. If you can't pay in gold, I'll take what you have. That's the way they're trying to spin this, that the United States gave weapons to Ukraine, but they always wanted to pay back. That's not what happened. The United States gave weapons to try to keep Russia from acquiring a people's land that wasn't theirs. And Europe's been giving weapons to Ukraine to try to keep Russia at bay. Everybody's afraid of Russia, what else they will do once they win this, if they win this. Hopefully they won't win this. What is true is that a previous administration sent weapons to Ukraine. And a major reason is that it's the right thing to do. Russia is the aggressors. Ukraine was on the defense. They didn't ask Russia to step over the line and invade their land. They didn't ask Russia to come in Bucha and kill and mutilate and torture people. They didn't ask Russia to take the children from the Ukraine and send them to Russia. They didn't ask Russia to conscript the Ukrainians that are in Russian-held territory and put them in the army to fight against other Ukrainians. They didn't ask for any of this. But it's really weird that perhaps Israel gets billions of dollars of weapons, and where's the ask there? How come they don't pay it back? As it is, the USA did send weapons. They sent a lot of it were weapons they were going to have to eventually destroy. They were going to have to pay for the destruction. So instead of that, they sent it to Ukraine so Ukraine can use. Canada did the same thing. Canada had some weapons that they were going to destroy, and they sent it to Ukraine to use. Now it's for defense, right? And it's to push the Russians back. Technically speaking, if the Republicans did not slow walk the bill out of Congress to give Ukrainians money for weapons and for wages, Ukraine might have been in a better position to push these guys away, push them out, to reclaim their land. Now, Trump said that Ukraine may or may not become part of Russia. They could become part of Russia. They may not. Well, they may come to the table. They may not. Now, the way things are going now, the American government is saying Ukraine will be at the table. However, before that, Russia and the United States got together in Arabia to talk about apparently Ukraine, but it was more of a business meeting. It was to talk about how we can get Russia back into the fold. how they can be an outstanding member of the international business community again, how they can have the tariffs and the embargoes lifted from Russia. All this goes right back to Russia invading Ukraine. If he didn't do it, he wouldn't have this problems. The Russian economy right now is overheated. It's on a war footing. Price of butter and eggs is up, same as in America. They're losing people. Estimates up to 850,000 casualties, Russian casualties. People maimed and hurt. A whole generation lost to the affliction of war. And they bring that home. We've had some highlights with Prigozhin trying to take Moscow in a tank. I mean, this timeline is unreal. I could not script or write any of this, but it is what it is right now. So let me show you a picture of the business meeting in Arabia. So this is the real sultans of swing. Little Marco there with his boys, and Larionov with his boys, and a couple of Arabian fellows who I don't know their name, but one of the names that was there was Kirill Dmitriev, who's the CEO of the Russian Direct Investment Fund, and he was born in Kiev, Ukraine, in the Soviet Union in '75, and he was a Russian exchange student, and he worked as an investment banker at Goldman Sachs in New York, and he was a consultant at McKinsey and Company. Those two names keep coming up no matter what happens here. So basically, this is a business meeting, and is it to divvy up the resources of Ukraine? I don't know, maybe. But Vladimir Zelensky, the Ukrainian president, and other European leaders expressed alarm and dismay at being shut out of talks. Kiev says any negotiations on Ukraine without Ukraine as ones that have no result, and they will not recognize any agreements about us without us. Danish Prime Minister warned that Russia could use the pause to remobilize and mount a fresh attack on Ukraine or target other countries in Europe. Basically, this is meant to bring Russia back into the fold. Now, Nixon used the strategy of economic means to bring China into the fold and to blunt war. And that strategy worked wonders. With the present administration, we don't know if if he's capable of blunting war or if he's going to make it bigger than it should. Again, this timeline thing. Right now, there should be a president who cares about other people, about other countries and stuff. I have no doubt the American population would like not to pay for wars. I would like that too. I wouldn't mind if they pulled their American troops out of 1,000 bases you have around the world. But here's the thing with Ukraine. If you help them, you help yourselves. You help the society that you're democracies. If you help Ukraine, you keep Russians' international monarchical capture of other societies. I don't think the way to get a bully to not be a bully is by appeasing them. Right now in the Russian media, if you've watched some of the YouTube from Media Matters or Media Monitor, the Russian media is just lapping all this stuff up. They really are. They're just going, aha, Putin is in essence been given a lifeline. But in fact, he's having a hard time with his army, and he's asked for more troops from North Korea. There's a precipice here. Russia's teetering, and then the American government throws him a lifeline. Hey, there you go, buddy. Is it from past friendships and stuff? I don't know. But throughout all this talking, Russia, it was 176 missiles
flown into Ukraine, and I believe Ukraine knocked off 170 of them. Don't quote me on this. I was just reading it. I'm about right. This timeline sucks right now, and I feel sorry for the people in Ukraine going through this. Now there has to be a resolution, but I suspect it should come through the Ukrainians. It's their negotiation. If you could believe that Russia wouldn't fall back from a truce or a bargain, you might have a leg to stand on to convince me that they won't. But, from the Minsk agreement, from the lies that Putin has said, I wouldn't take that at face value. You're In order to beat a bully, you got to bop him in the nose. The American government is missing a great chance to bop Russia in the nose. Instead, we're all going to get bleeding noses from this. Have yourself a good day.